record these meetings and get them uploaded. We're still working on getting things uploaded to the YouTube channel. I think we made some headway on Friday, but it was late in the day. We might have to go back and revisit that stuff. But again, we're going to be here every day, 5 days a week for you. If there's a time that we will be meeting someplace else, there'll be direction on the Google Hangout for you to get to it. I'm also going to have the slideshow running afterwards. I'll go ahead and work on the timings on this and have it running afterwards so that it's just up for anybody who didn't make the meeting. Okay. Let's see. Next slide is we have our virtual open house video is now available on the VAC. So there was an email that was sent out to you guys, and I have in here that it was sent out on Friday between 10 and 11:30. And that's because I have two emails and I'm not sure which one you guys would have received. So there's one at 10 and one at 11:15, I believe. And so just check your email to see where that is. I would go in there. It's going to be from CA Marketing. Go into that, take a quick look at it, click on it, get yourself familiar with that, because again, as you heard and as we're hearing more and more, this is not something that's going to go away quickly. We're going to have to figure out how to do our business through this. And so whatever you guys can do to learn how to do virtual open houses and virtual showings are going to become very, very important in the next couple months. Okay. Let's see. Next slide is our marketing department. Again, if you need an appointment with Maria in our marketing department, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our technology and training education calendar, I wanted to just chat with you guys about this briefly. I know I've had lots of requests that our meetings every day are at 9 o'clock and some of the trainings are at 9 o'clock. I went over it with Chris and we were able to make a couple of tweaks, but know that this calendar is for all of Southern California. And so it's not just us that he's doing this for. I asked him to make a couple adjustments here and there, and he is doing the how to host a virtual open house or showing immediately after this meeting. It'll be at 10 o'clock, not immediately, it's a half hour later. It'll be at 10 o'clock. So you guys will be able to join that class. And then he's also holding it again from 1 to, it's not 1 to 3, it's actually 1 to 2. Let me change that in there. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen again. That'll be from 1 to 2. That's a 1 hour session and it is on his regular Google Hangout. Later this week on Tuesday, he has VAC 1 and 2 from 9 to 11 and from 1 to 3. So there will be times where you guys are going to have to make a choice. I sort of looked at these classes and look, there's about 6 of them that he's running all of the time. And there will be times where you'll want to take, like VAC 1, you may want to take it twice. VAC 2, you may want to take it twice, but it won't be all of the time. And he's going to rotate the times when they are. So if you can't get one in the morning, you'll be able to get it in the afternoon, most likely the following week. So he's adjusting and making changes to those. So you'll see that it is going to interact with some of ours, and you're going to see the virtual, it looks like the virtual tours or the virtual caravan for PSRAR may overlap with what we're doing here as well. So there may be places where you'll have to make choices. Understand, we know that you'll have to do that, and we're going to do our best to make sure we record these meetings and get them to you. And again, we'll have this stuff running 24 hours a day on the Google Hangout so that you guys will be able to access it even if you can't quite get to our 9 o'clock meetings. We get it. We understand it. As things start to get a little bit busier, you guys are going to fall off of being on these every morning at 9 o'clock. So we're going to do our best to make sure we still get all this information out in front of you.
Stephanie,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to jump in real quick. So just to tighten this up a bit, if you're looking at VAC 1 and you say, what is VAC? Or if you look at VAC and 2 and say, what is Client Database Manager and what is Listing Manager, then your priority should be those classes.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you. But again, I think there's ways that those can be, because he's switching them back and forth every week, you're able to get them in the morning or the afternoon. So just look for it. If you're not able to get it one week, look for it the next week to be on the opposite schedule. But yes, those should be your priority. You should be in those. I just understand we're giving such important information every morning. I get why you guys want to have that place to plug in as well. Okay, so let's go to Wednesday. We have VAC 3, VAC 4. I'm not going to get into that. You guys can go, are welcome to read this and get into the detail of what that is. And then SkySlope. And then again on Friday, he's going to round it out one more time with doing how to host a virtual house. And once again, I know that is from 1 to 2. It is not from 1 to 3. So those are some good classes, and Chris is really interested in hearing from you guys on the feedback that you need, or feedback for him so that he can put together more materials. We also need it as well, because what I think Dwayne and I are hearing is that you guys are getting really good overviews from people like Maria, from Rick, from Chris, but you need the practical step by step, and that's going to be up to Dwayne and I to put together for you. So as you get in these meetings, I definitely suggest you go to the classes, because you'll get ideas for what you want to do. You bring it back to us and we'll help you implement it, right? So just make sure that's, again, why you want to get together with Dwayne and I. We have that time available every Friday for coaching. We do half-hour sessions or full 1-hour sessions if you have a special project that you need a little help with. So just reach out to us, reach out to Laura, and she'll get you on our calendar. Don't reach out to Laura today because she's out ill today, just a little under the weather, nothing dangerous. So just reach out to us for today, but any other day of the week, you're more than welcome to reach out to her. That actually brings me to my next slide. Is the question of the week is, who's available to sign for the broker in our office? And the answer is, we will figure it out for you. You guys don't have to worry. Sometimes it's Dwayne, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Forrest, but your best bet generally is to send the document to Laura. She will determine who it should go to, who can sign it the fastest, and we'll send it back to you. Send it to us for digital signature, whoever it's supposed to go to, with a copy back to you once it's signed. So if you have something that's urgent, you're more than welcome to send it to Dwayne and I, especially on the weekend. Send it straight away and then text us and let us know that you've sent us a message. If it's, that's just the fastest way to get a response from us. But if it's during the week, sometimes the best bet is just to forward it to Laura. She literally looks side to side, decides who the best person is to give it to, or Forrest if that's what's necessary. And anytime it's possible, she just does a digital signature and has a copy go back to you once we sign it. And then she comes and, like, not taps us on the shoulder right now, but she comes and throws a paper clip and says, hey, you got something that you need to sign in there, and lets us know. So really, that's your best bet. I've had some of you kind of curious as to, yeah, right, as to who signs what. You're more than welcome to send it to either of us or any of us, and we will figure it out and get it back to you. But if you're looking for a fast way to get something, Laura is generally the fastest way to make that happen. Again, today is not the day for that because she's out. She's out ill on a personal day today. Our last slide came from a quote that I gave you guys last week, but I went and found it because it just spoke to me so much. Don't count the days, make the days count. That's a quote from our guy Zig Ziglar. And so I just want you guys to really think hard about what it is that you're doing to make the days count right now. Again, it's not very frequent in our lives that we get an opportunity to reset. So really think about what it is that you're doing to prepare yourself to run your business, in a different way. There's, those of us that are going to curl up and into a ball and want to die here. And then there are those of us that are going to adapt. They're going to be innovative. We're going to figure out new ways to do things. And those are the ones that are going to thrive. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the millennials that do that, right? We all have the ability right now to learn some new skills, pick up a few new tools that we can put in our toolbox to be able to help our clients in a little bit different way. So I kind of want to, that's all I have for this morning. Although I say that's all, it only took me 17 minutes to get through it. It's a lot. So I want to just sort of slow down and ask you guys. We'll go to the chat, see what kind of questions you guys have this morning. Michelle has a question. I have a listing escrow that has been in escrow since before COVID. Do I need to use? Okay, so, these forms, we're going to go back to this slide that has all the list of forms on it. And so the RLA CAA is a listing agreement coronavirus addendum or amendment. And there's a reason that they named it that. You don't see that very often. They did that so that we would be able to use this to amend a contract, or to add something onto the end of the contract, to addend the contract. And so this allows you, Dwayne and I have been having this conversation with you guys a lot over the last few months, but when you have a property or a deal that hasn't been accepted yet, that's when you add an addendum. After you open escrow, that's when you'll do an amendment. There's a difference between the two. I won't get into what the two are now, but just know that you can use that form either way. So my question to you is, Have you reviewed it? Have you reviewed the form? Have you reviewed it with the client? I would review it with the client, even if you don't necessarily think that they're going to sign it or think that it's appropriate. I still think it's a good way to just start a conversation. The notice of unforeseen coronavirus circumstances, that is used to explain what the action is that you're taking on the coronavirus addendum or amendment. So again, the coronavirus addendum or amendment can be used either before or after. So it doesn't matter whether it was a transaction that you're just opening up or one that's already open. You can add that form to it if you need to. And then the NUCC would just be used to describe the reason that you're using the CVA. So yes, I will be emailing the PowerPoint out immediately after this. We'll go ahead and get this to you guys so that you have it. And again, sorry for our technical difficulties this morning. So does that answer your questions on the forms, Michelle? I think I covered what you were asking. I think the main thing we just need to remember, guys, is that it's not about whether you need to use the forms. I think you need to use all of them and you need to engage in the conversation. It's about asking the client questions. Mr. Seller, what are your concerns, in today's environment? What are your concerns with selling your house and the security and safety of your family during this time? Let's talk about that. What needs to happen in order for you to feel comfortable with this process? And they may not know the answer to that. That might take a little digging. It might take a little bit. Let's figure out what it's going to take to make you feel comfortable with this process. Because some people are going to need to sell even though they're not real comfortable with it. They're going to need to buy even though they're not really comfortable with it. So we have to figure out what's the best way for us to be able to help those people operate through this time. And really, the main thing is not assuming we know what their concerns are. It's asking the questions. And we talked about this the other day. It's just a matter of respect, that you're showing someone respect by taking the time to ask them what it is that concerns them and how you can help them. So any other questions on that? Any other challenges that you guys are seeing? What are some ideas on how to market our services as an agent without seeming insensitive during this crisis? I think we're gonna chat a little bit more about that this week. I'm hearing from agents, I'm hearing you guys say that you're getting a lot of no's, that you're making a lot of phone calls and you're getting a lot of no's. So my question to those people that posed that to me, this last week, I posed a question back to them, which was, what are you asking? What are you getting a no to? And what the answer that I got back was interesting. They said, well, they're saying no, they don't want to sell their house right now. And I'm like, why are you asking people to sell their house on the phone when you call them to reach out to see how they're doing? That's a little bit forward, isn't it? So how about if instead we just call them and reach out to see how they're doing, to see if they have any need. If they have a real estate need, let's set an appointment to have that conversation. We're not calling people to talk about real estate. We've talked about that last week, right? That's almost a little bit forward and it can be a little bit rude to assume somebody is in the mindset, especially right now. We have no idea what's going on in their world. We're just looking to be able to help somebody. So I really want you guys to think about that when you're reaching out to people. What are you closing on? Really, all that I'm closing on right now when I'm out reaching out, whether it's to past clients or to other realtors, all I'm looking for is an opportunity to help. I don't even care what it's with. It doesn't even have to be real estate related. This is no different than the strategy that we have been or should have been using this entire time in our careers, right? It's that we reach out to help, and then when the real estate need is there, we get to shine, right? And so I want you guys to just continue doing that. Remember what you're closing on. If you're getting lots of no's, it might be because you're asking the wrong questions. So sort of think about the approach you're taking. And if it feels a little bit weird or a little icky, maybe it is. Maybe there, and I don't mean that, I really don't mean that in a derogatory way, but really think about what the approach is that you're taking and why are you reaching out to somebody? Is it truly to help them or is it to help you? Because if it's to help you, it's just never going to come across as genuine, and it's not what you're going for, right? So I just want you guys really to think about that. It's a touchy thing right now. I'll share with you guys as far as marketing goes. Marketing yourself. I have seen some pretty nasty Facebook messages out there. I have seen some pretty interesting. Maureen, are you getting more coffee? I've seen some pretty interesting messages out there. So we just, again,
this time.
right. We are seeing some interesting things out there. So again, just try to do your best to be kind and be gentle with everybody. Don't judge anybody for trying to do what they're doing. We just don't want to be yucky. I always say that, and I know that word's a little bit silly, but it's true. You know that feeling that you get when you're doing something that's just not quite for the right reasons, right? So really stop and slow down and think about, why are we here and what are we trying to do? I'm really proud of you guys and really proud of the work that you have been doing in your communities. And I'm really proud of, those of you, I'm proud of those of you who are staying home and doing what you feel is the right thing. And because, man, that is not an easy thing to do. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of those of you who are trying to figure out new ways to help your clients. It's really impressive to just watch the innovation that's coming up and you guys figuring out how to strategize to do things for your clients, whether it be make showings happen that make the seller comfortable, or, just getting a closing done or getting an inspection done that makes a buyer comfortable, but the seller feels good about it at the same time. You guys are really rocking at it, and I'm just super impressed, and you guys should be too. So yeah, John, it's a touchy subject right now. We got to be very careful. I think, again, if you can market to your clients the neighborhood services that are out there. Maybe what are some support groups that are going on, or what are some things that people are doing. Where I keep seeing the Happy Hearts thing, that everybody's posting like the rainbow hearts in their windows, so that as families are on their walks, they can find them in the windows. Just little things like that people are doing, that when you share that kind of stuff, that can be uplifting. That can be a positive way to sort of market yourself right now, that you're not necessarily, I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago that I did that video where I was on my bike with my dog, and we went past Morningside Country Club, and I took some footage of a few other subdivisions that I can use. I'm not really making them real estate videos, but I'm certainly highlighting a couple of subdivisions when I drive by them because they're really neat looking. So maybe there's just some outside of the box ways that you can do your business a little differently. For me, when I rode the neighborhood on my bike, I realized I got to see the properties in a different way. And I just thought it was really interesting. So you guys just think about that for yourself. What are some genuine ways that you can help? If you're normally, connected with your community through, whether it be a church, or it be the dog shelter, or it be whatever it is, whatever the thing is that you normally do, look for ways that you can connect with those people, and that you can connect through those things as well. And that'll give you that organic marketing that we're always looking for, because when it comes from the heart, like that's the stuff that's really going to resonate. So someone just asked, Glenn asked, does renting a room in someone's home fall under the rental category requiring these forms? Here's what I would say. I think they would certainly help in any conversation. I think that they just pose some questions that anybody could use in any conversation. So I'm not necessarily saying that they're appropriate for a client to sign, but I would say that if you have a client, and this is a way that you guys are asking how you can help, you have a lot of investor clients, right? Reach out to those clients right now and say, hey, what are the concerns you have right now? How can I help you? Because some of them are concerned. Go ahead, Dwayne. Yep.
I think it's unlikely that a person renting a room in their house is being represented by a realtor, and I want to just make sure that we're not handing out forms to people to use.
Oh yes, no, I agree with you. Thank you very much. No, absolutely not. I think if you're going to, it just will allow you to have an intelligent conversation with a client. Read the forms, get to know them, and then when a client calls you and asks you a question, or as you're reaching out to your investor clients and they have a question, you're able to engage in conversation that's intelligent. It does not mean you're handing these forms over to people. You're absolutely right. We do not do that, and that's part of the rules and regs with Zip Form, that you're not handing those forms over. But again, it's not a bad way for you guys to have a topic of conversation to have with clients. A lot of people are going to be have this at top of mind, and you guys becoming the experts on what's going on out there is just going to make you valuable. And that's what we always say when we're looking for the way to earn the right. The knowledge you have is the power. That's the power that you have to earn the right to ask for someone's information and to ask them to be for your client. Right. Oh, so you were referring to giving them out. Yeah, we can't wouldn't be necessarily be giving those out to somebody, but if you have a client that reaches out to you and says they're considering renting a room to to someone in their home, I would just have the conversation with them regarding the information that's on those forms. Certainly don't provide those forms as a resource. Okay, yeah, no, we definitely can't do that. And that's in your zip form rules and regulations. That's not a Stephanie or Dwayne rule. That's when you sign up for zip forms, you agree to not share those forms with anybody that's not an active client. Let's see, anything else? All right, any other questions, guys? I know it's going to be an interesting week. We're going to have lots of new stuff come up this week, I'm sure of it, because every week we have, and we will tackle it along the way. Dwayne and I are here all week long to help you. We do have our 5 events this week. Go ahead, Dwayne, what do you have?
I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows to send me either their listing, the address, MLS number, or a video for the caravan on Wednesday. And also I want to address something else. We've had a couple of requests for cancellations, and because we have now 3 different systems we're using, it would be really helpful to us if you could, when you send us a request for a cancellation, you let us know what board you're a member of and what MLS you entered the listing in. We're chasing down listings right now. I spent yesterday trying to figure out with Steve where a listing was, and it's becoming a problem. So if you put it in Vesta, let us know that. If you put it in Flex and you're a member of PSRAR, let us know that. If you put it in Flex and you're a member of CDAR, let us know that. Pretty please.
Yeah. And again, when it comes to the cancellations, that is another one. I'll make sure that I review that stuff with Laura as well, because that if you get it to her, she can get it to us quickly, but you definitely have to tell us which board you're a member. There's too many options now. It used to be one or the other. It was very simple. We could figure it out. And I had the list of 7 who were with CDAR in my head. But now it's not that easy. So Dwayne, you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make that a slide for another one of our meetings, just so that we can remind everybody of it. We really do need your help with that. We spent on Friday, there were 3 between you and I, we went back and forth trying to figure out where they were at. And it was always, of course, at 4:45 on a Friday, and we're trying to get everybody at the association before everything is shut down for the weekend. So please just help us out with that. Again, you guys asked how you could help us, and you've done an amazing job of that. But that would be one more thing you could do to help us, that when you send that stuff over to Laura, and not at 4:45 on a Friday. And if you are going to do that, again, just please call us. Call one of us and let us know, so that we don't get caught as we're walking out the door. Trying to get this thing taken care of for you. It just is helpful to us if we at least have a little bit of time. But that's a great point. Anything else, guys? Anything else for the week that anybody wants to share? Any concerns or challenges?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, go ahead. We have somebody? I think that might have been Carol. All right, guys. Well, it was wonderful meeting with you all this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our sales rally. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.